Thank you for joining us. You are tuned to the Great Acquaintance Missionary Baptist Church, located at 6758 South Wabash Avenue. I am Pastor Kevin Wilks. I know what prayer can do. 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 Help me, somebody. I found the answer in prayer. I'll tell you. I know what prayer can do. 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 I found the answer. I'm telling you. I know. Prayer can heal the sick. It can raise the dead. I remember one day, 5,000 souls. I found the answer. I'm telling everywhere. I know. Hey, I know what prayer can do. 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 I found the answer. I'll tell it everywhere. I know. Prayer can heal the sick. It can raise the dead. I remember one day, 5,000 souls. I found the answer. I'm telling. I know. Won't you turn to Luke, the 4th chapter? Luke, the 4th chapter. We're looking at verses 16 through 24. Luke, the 4th chapter, verses 16 through 24. And I know I say it many times at church. We're not online, but just let me say it while we are actually online. We've got the best musicians in the world here at Great Acquaintance, and I thank them so much. Luke, the 4th chapter, verses 16 through 24, and it reads as such. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Esaias. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He hath sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. And he closed the book and he gave it again to the minister and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. And all bare him witness and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is not this Joseph's son? And he said unto them, ye will surely say unto me this proverb, physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country. And he said, verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of the word for the edification of our souls. I'm going to talk to you real quickly about the topic, physician, heal thyself. Throughout my life, I can probably count on one hand how many times I've heard a sermon on this topic. Even with being a PK, if you don't know what that means, it means a pastor's kid. Being raised up in church, going to seminary, I have only heard this topic a few times. And when I did hear it, somebody preach on it, they made it sound like Luke, the physician, was being told to heal himself. Now, I'm not going to say that's what the sermon was actually about. I'm just going to say that through my talking to whoever was near me, through my asking somebody for a piece of gum or some candy, or through my taking a nap, as some of y'all do sometimes, that's what I got out of the sermon. But you see, we need to be more careful when we only get a portion of something. When we only get a portion of the gossip that's being told to us. When we only get a portion of the conversation. Especially when it comes to scripture. We need to be careful about that portion. But people do that all the time. They take a portion of scripture and they use it to their own advantage. Folks like to whip people with a portion of scripture. Come on now. They like to judge people with a portion of scripture. They like to damn people and abolish people with a portion of scripture. But if they took the time to read the entire scripture, if they took the time to read the verses before it and the verses after it, if they took the time to read the entire chapter, if they took the time to read the Bible,
come on, Pastor,
they would see that that one little portion might just be the thing to get them to be damned and abolished and judged. Now, I like reading the book of Luke. Luke's occupation was a physician. His being so detailed is highly shown in his writing of the gospel. Out of all the gospels, Luke has more words than any of the other 3 books of the gospel. He has 7% more than Matthew, 42% more than Mark, 27% more than John.
Come on now.
And if you're ever on Jeopardy, if that question comes up,
Come on, Pastor.
here in chapter 4, we find that Jesus has returned to his childhood town of Nazareth. Jesus was not brought up in Nazareth. I'm sorry. Jesus was brought up in Nazareth because we know that he was born in Bethlehem. If you don't know that he was born in Bethlehem, Wednesdays at 6 o'clock on Zoom, we have Bible study. Sunday at 1:15 after service, we have Sunday school. And then you can go online and find our Sunday school on Facebook and on YouTube. You got me to thank for that as well. Amen. So he grew up in Nazareth. Now he'd been away from his hometown for most of his adult life. And the people of Nazareth were always getting word of his fame. Now, let me tell you, fame ain't always a good thing. Because just as people can lift you up.
Come on now. Come on, Pastor. Come on. How you doing?
Just as people love to pat you on your back
Come on, Pastor.
and give you praise, they can tear you down just as fast.
Come on, Pastor. Fast. Come on, much faster.
You especially have to be careful about fame in the ministry. Some people get into the ministry for all the wrong reasons. Some people get into it so that they can get paid. When I was in seminary, I heard so many conversations about, well, you know, you should try to get into this church over there to be a pastor because they got big money.
Yeah.
Some people get into it because they want to be noticed. They can't sing a lick, but yet they are up in the choir, first row. And they are the ones usually doing way too much.
Well,
some people get into the ministry because they could probably get them some women or some men.
tell the truth, Pastor.
First lady sitting on the front pew. His girlfriend with his baby is sitting over there in the corner. His mistress is sitting in the other corner. And his boy toy is sitting in the back. All right, I done said it. I'm sorry.
You keep in it, make it plain. Make it real, Pastor. Make it real, Pastor. Make it real, that's plain.
If you are going into ministry for any of those reasons, Matthew 6:5 says, you done already gotten your reward. So here Jesus is, back to his hometown of Nazareth. He goes to the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stands to read. They hand him the book of Isaiah. And he turns to the 61st chapter, verses 1 and 2, which says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach freedom to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to free those who are bruised. After he was done, Jesus closed the book and handed it back to the minister. Everybody was staring at Jesus. They were shocked at how well he read and spoke. They started tossing the question around. Isn't that Joseph's boy? This reminds me of when Jesus was choosing his disciples. When Nathanael heard that Jesus was from Nazareth, he asked Philip, can anything good come out of Nazareth?
Come on, preacher. Come on, that's what they said. That's what the word say.
Now, this may not mean nothing to you, but to me, being a black man from Chicago who was raised in Inglewood, when you get around certain people, they have a way to let you know that they are wondering, can anything good come out of the hood?
Come on, preacher. That's what they saying.
See, you probably never had anybody look shocked and say to you, you read really well. Or, you speak so well. I may be from Inglewood, but so was Gwendolyn Brooks. So was Oscar Brown Jr. So was astronaut Robert Lawrence. So was UN Ambassador Patricia Robert Harris, and so many more. So, can anything come out of the hood good? Yes. And we are still coming. And yes, I do know how to read and speak quite well. Because I came from Inglewood. Jesus says, I know you want to throw up in my face the proverb that says, physician, heal thyself. I know you want me to do the same miracles here that you heard about me doing in Capernaum. Doctor, if you could heal these people, then prove to us that you can heal your own people. Prove to us that you can heal us. They wanted Jesus to prove himself to them. At some point in life, people get tired of having to prove themselves. Prove to me that you're trustworthy. Prove to me that you're able, that you can handle it. Prove to me that you love me and that you care for me. Older people, especially, get to a point that they just don't feel like proving anything to anybody at any time anymore. That's why you have Auntie Gertrude eating her greens and cornbread with her fingers.
Come on. Hey.
She can mush them up, get that perfect amount, toss it in her mouth. She ain't get to prove that she knows how to use a fork and knife anymore. All she wants to do is enjoy her greens. That's why Uncle Hubert wears that old flannel shirt and them polyester pants all the time. He knows how to dress up if he really wanted to.
Come on now.
But he's tired.
Come on, Pastor.
All he wants to do is be comfortable.
That's it. That's all. That's all, Pastor.
Jesus was always challenged to prove who he was. Even while hanging on the cross, people walked by saying, didn't he say he would destroy the temple and raise it up in 3 days? If you are the Son of God, come down off that cross and save yourself. The scribes, the elders, the priests said, he saved others. He can't save himself. Even the criminal hanging on the cross next to him had the nerve to say, if you are the Christ, save yourself and us.
Come on now. Tell it, make it plain. That's exactly how it's been. That's what he said. That's
Physician,
yeah.
heal thyself.
Yeah.
If you are the Christ, prove it. There is no need for Jesus to prove who he is. He's proven to be the lily of the valley and the bright and morning star. He's proven to be a rock in a weary land and a wheel in the middle of the wheel. He's proven to be a light when the way is dark. He's proven to be a friend to the friendless and hope for the hopeless. So Luke 4 goes on to say, that when Jesus got through telling them that he had no need to prove himself, the people got upset. They forced Jesus out of the city, took him up to the hill to throw him over the edge. But it says Jesus just walked through the crowd and left them there. Listen closely, church. When people don't believe you, when people don't want to listen to you, when people don't want to let you do what you were called to do, it's time to get to stepping. Matthew 10:14 says, when you go into a place that won't welcome you, when you go into a place that won't receive you, when you go into a place that won't accept you, it says, wipe the dust off your feet. Come on, Pastor. And get to stepping. Jesus, you don't have to prove yourself to me. I heard how you fed 5,000 with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. I heard how you had Peter go fishing, and when he pulled the fish out of the water, there was enough money in the fish's mouth to pay all the taxes. So I believe your word that the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. I believe your word when you said I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. Jesus, you don't have to prove yourself. I read how you hid the paralyzed man who was lowered down through the roof. I read how just by touching the hand of Peter's mother-in-law, you took away that deadly fever. I read how by just spitting in mud, you gave a blind man sight. So I know then that there's more medicine in the hem of your garment than there is in any drugstore. I know that you are the true physician, the true healer. And by your stripes, we are healed. Jesus, you don't need to prove yourself. For if you did it before, I know you can do it again. There is no secret what God can do. What he's done for others, he can do the same for you. Let me ask you, church. Come on, preacher. Do you trust him? Do you trust him to put food on your table and shoes on your feet and clothes on your back and a roof over your head? Do you trust him to protect you from all hurt, harm, and danger? To encamp his angels all around you, to make your enemies your footstool. Come on, Pastor. I trust you, God.
I trust you.
For when you said, I will never leave you, nor forsake you.
Come on, preacher.
I trust you, God. For when your word said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I trust you. For in your word it says, trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him. He will direct your path. I trust you, God. For you are God all by yourself. You're Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the Almighty, the everlasting. You ain't got to prove who you are. I trust you to take diseases away. Arthritis, be gone. High blood pressure, adios. Cancer, see you later. Diarrhea, diabetes, get out of here. Fever, bye Felicia. I trust you. I trust you. I trust you.
Come on, man. That's it. Come on, man.
I will trust in the Lord. I'm going to stay on the battlefield. I'm going to stay on the battlefield. I'm going to stay on the battlefield. I'm going to stay on the battlefield until I